happy holidays from all of us at Here and Now. Tonight, we're taking a look back at some of the stories that brightened up our year. Along the way, we'll take you to some beautifully decorated homes, and we'll introduce you to the people who do this to make their neighborhood a brighter place. I'm Jessica Singer, and you're watching Here and Now's Bright Lights Holiday Special.
Hi, my name is Kylie, and this is my Christmas light display for 2024. I've been doing it for about 3 years now, so this is the biggest one yet. I use 12-volt LEDs. There's about 20,000 of them behind you here, and they're all plugged into a controller, and I put them to Christmas music with a transmitter. Last year, limos used to come by from Lake Tours, seniors' homes used to come by, and kids' groups, so that was pretty cool.
And why do you do this?
A little bit of fun. I watched a YouTube video on it and thought, maybe I can do that. So I ordered all the lights and figured out how to program them. I love decorating, and this is a little bit of a puzzle for me of hooking it up and trying to code it differently each year and do something different, so it's a bit of fun.
Thanks so much to Kylie. Now, let's take a look back at some of our favorite good news stories from the past year.
Uluit was always in my life because my grandmother cleaned sealskins for herself and for the hunters in the community, and I cleaned sealskins as well, so I use them. And it was traditionally known as an Inuit women's knife, so it was mainly used by the women and not mainly made by the women. So usually the men would make them and the women would use them. But now, I guess I'm breaking that tradition, but that's it. Hey.
One of our first stories of 2024 became one of the top videos of the year on the CBCNL website. How Mina Campbell of Northwest River makes ulus out of old saw blades.
Because you can't buy saw blades anymore, and even if you could, I would scrounge them before I bought them, because it is a way to, use it. This is going to go in the garbage, and it's going to be in the landfill for how long? Hey, long time. And so I just draw it out on the blade. So then I sand them off. So that's why half of it is sanded, half is not. I don't try to make it too shiny. I want to have a little bit of character to it, because I don't want to have an ulu this. Even if it's a decoration, I don't think it should be shiny and varnished and all perfect. So it has to have a little character, but I try to make it nice. So I drill a hole through the stem, which is going to go on here like this. And drill a hole through the blade, and tack that together with a little pin. And then I put the handle on, drill a hole in the moose antler, which is also something that I scrounge and use up, because sometimes people keep them when they're hunting, but they don't always. And then I also use the antler for a stand. But eventually I do. I'll have something finished similar to this. In my family, like I said, my grandmother used to clean sealskins for people. So you hold it like this. If this is the sealskin, you take the fat off. You got to make sure that the ulu is good and sharp. And I sharpen mine with steel. So you take the fat off just like that, or if you want to cut the meat, you use it like this. So every fall, when I get laid off from work now, I take up my tools, however many saw blades I have. So anybody that got a moose antler that they don't want, I'll take it from you. Same as the old blades, please, and thanks. But I think it is a good thing to continue to do. It's a good way to teach people about the Inuit culture, not only about making them, but also about the use of them, because, they've been used since time immemorial by Inuit women. So it is a lot of different things, I guess, within a day.
Another of the year's brightest lights came from Labrador at the finish line of Kane's Quest. Father-son team Randy and Sebastian Malik became the first Innu winners of the 3,000-kilometer race.
And what's it like to see him cross the line?
Honestly, I was a little girl when he first started. Now I'm a grown adult, and this is a one-in-a-lifetime moment, and I'm really, really proud of him.
And what was it like to see them leading basically the whole time?
Exciting, but mostly worried.
Congratulations, how are you feeling?
Well, we feel awesome now.
What's it like to cross the finish line?
It's great, man. Feel awesome.
And I know I was just talking to your daughter, you've been racing for many years, and you finally got to cross the finish line.
Yes.
How was that?
Well, I love it. I never forget it.
And Randy, how many times, is this your first time doing the race?
My third time now.
Third time. Yeah. So what's it like doing it with your dad?
Feels amazing, man.
And for everyone in Shishishi, like, what do you have to say to them?
We done it!
Thank you.
A Valentine's Day blizzard broke hearts in St. John's, but the dedicated florists at Holland Nurseries kept their doors open and their flowers flowing.
What we tried to do this year, as in same last year, got most of our deliveries out yesterday, which was critical, but there's some orders came in yesterday that we couldn't get ready in time to get out, so we're trying to get them out today. And we're open for walk-in if somebody comes in, but I don't expect many because it's not particularly pleasant out.
Have you seen anybody walk in so far?
We had a few came in. Some were people who had arranged to pick up today. Other people were just getting something out of the cooler. And the staff have come in or not all the staff, but some have come in to make sure that we can keep the wheels rolling. We appreciate Valentine's, and we hope that the people who get the flowers appreciate what we're doing to make it a festive day.
So push leg.
Curling fans in this province had a lot to cheer about this year. Team Guju took home a historic 6th Brier and retained their Team Canada title.
Canadian Championship.
It's pretty crazy. It took me a long time to win the first one, and someone asked me, did I ever think I'd win 6? And the only time I ever thought about winning 6 was after we won 5. So, you take it kind of one step and 1 year at a time. And, we've had a great run over the last 8 years to win 6 times. And, it just shows what kind of team we have and how special a group it is. And it's fun to be a part of.
I think what we've got here today is a celebration of life. Too many times those things end in tragedy. Finally, we got one that ends in a happy ending, eh? And we could all use a good luck and a happy story, eh?
It began as one of the darkest stories, but became one of the year's brightest lights. In July, the 7-man crew of the elite Navigator were reported missing. For 2 agonizing days, people across the province held their breath. Then, all 7 were found alive in a lifeboat.
We worked well together and we took care of each other and we knew we'd get through it eventually.
I had a little bit of doubt for myself on the last night because I was wet and cold when I was getting colder and colder. I said, this is not good for me, right? But when I heard that chopper come over, I said, all the warmth was back in my body, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's been very emotional. I was actually camping at Lumsden North Beach, and we just kept refreshing Facebook. And when I opened it up, it was like, wow. I said to my husband, they've been found, all 7. It was like, and every post I read now, it's hard to even read them without being emotional. I cry over every post that I read. There's so much excitement.
I was devastated because I had 2 distant cousins on her and my granddaughter-in-law had a first cousin there. So that was, very emotional. And I didn't know the other men, but I felt so sad and I cried for 2 days. Yeah, it was so sad. And then yesterday morning, my daughter called me And I'm not going to do this.
That's okay. It's okay.
And she said, Mom, they're found. And I said, well, all 7 of them? She said, yes, they're all well, she said. And I said, praise the Lord.
The rescue inspired Gander artist Keisha Collins to get out her pencils and create a piece dedicated to the Lucky 7. She never expected her art to go viral.
I decided to take it in my head to draw a picture for the guys that were missing after I heard that they were home. And I finished it at 11, and I couldn't go to bed that night until I posted it online for the guys. I didn't expect it to get the attention that it did, but I woke up on Monday morning and it had over 800 shares on Monday morning, and I was like, where is this coming from? I had no idea that it was gonna, take off the way it did. It just kind of hit home to Newfoundland, and the fact that all 7 were okay, and it was a happy ending, and it was one that Newfoundland needed to see.
Another emotional reunion happened this summer, and this story was 30 years in the making.
She's like my mom, because she helped for us, she do everything, and she took my hand and first step in Canada. She helped for us, everything.
3 decades ago, 7 Russians found safe haven in St. John's. Alex and Elena Arestov were raised in a Soviet circus, schooled to become acrobats and tour the world representing the USSR. But in 1992, the Soviet Union was dissolving, and the Arestovs were looking for change too. They found it when they walked off a plane in Newfoundland.
I knew just 2 words, hi and goodbye. So
they left the Soviet Union behind, but to keep up their circus skills, they found a home at the Cygnus Gymnastics Club in St. John's.
You know, a miracle. It's God. We just walk, oh, what is it? Gym? We can't believe it because we knew nothing. For me, it's wow, we find a place, maybe we can practice here.
I think it's great.
Back then, Judy Tulk was the manager at Cygnus. She spoke no Russian, but that didn't stop her.
They were there every day, and no one was communicating because we couldn't. So one day I said, we got to go down and make contact. So I went down and I sat on the side of the pit, and Alex came over and sat down beside me. We looked at each other, and I said hello, and he said hi.
Tulk helped the Russians settle in St. John's, and she says they learned a lot from each other.
We have a lot of the ideas that they didn't have. So we just shared, and they coached a few of the girls, and they loved it, and it's been great.
We were so amazed at what they were doing. We had never seen anything like it. And they were just turning this little 7-year-old. I mean, he was like a pretzel.
In the early 90s, they needed to make a living. They were highly trained entertainers, and the city was studded with audiences. Tulk helped bring them together.
I was the manager, and I would book bookings for them. And we went to just about every school in St. John's and put off a performance for the elementary and primary grades. And we were so well received, it was unbelievable.
Slowly, they devised a plan to stay in Newfoundland and start a circus school.
I think it's great because, St. John's has never had anything like that, and why not try something new? I think it's a real opportunity, and I really don't think we can pass up on it.
But the Arestovs saw more opportunity in the bigger cities.
They had nothing to start the school with, so they figured that they probably would have to move on to a larger area and grow from there.
The Arestovs have never left the circus life. Young Simon, seen here in 1992, has a family of his own now and performs in huge venues across the United States. At 67, Alex still has it too. He and Elena continue to perform together. This winter, Tulk turned 80. The Arestovs promise they'll be back for her 90th and 100th birthdays too. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
The good news is just getting started. We'll be back with more of Here Now's Bright Lights Holiday Special. We're back with some of the brightest news stories of the year and some of the brightest houses in town. If this place in Southlands looks familiar, you've likely seen it all over social media. Whoa. Folks drive from all over to see this place. Some nights the street is packed with people taking photos and videos. And our next batch of good news stories is all about those viral moments that brighten up our year. It was a moment right out of a country song when superstar Shania Twain reunited with her old friend Gloria Power from St. John's.
How many? 40, yes. I'm going to be 59 in a few days or something. So Gloria invited me over. I stayed at her house. She treated me like one of the family.
Taxi driver Harold Butler drove into our news feeds when he spooned his way into a spot on Canada's Got Talent.
Just tell us about the setup you got here.
Okay, every time I go anywhere, I can go and take a set of spoons. I bend them, and I either have elastic band around them, or I'll have a hairband. Don't make a difference, because I don't put my fingers in between them.
Okay.
Because if anybody knows places has spoons, the longer you play them, the more blisters you get in the fingers. I had these welded.
Oh, really?
They're welded. So now, when I do...
Okay. Did you ever imagine that playing the spoons would get you on a stage for Canada's Got Talent?
No, I can't imagine myself getting myself on Facebook, which back then, no one knew what Facebook was, and neither would I. But I mean, no, where I'm at today because of a set of spoons.
This shot has been watched more than 1 million times.
So I made eye contact with my teammate. I ran up the floor. He threw the ball to me in the air. I just shot it. It looked good. And then when it went in, I was a little surprised and a little confused what to do. So I just stood there. And then a lot of people from my school just crowded the court.
It's O'Donnell versus Gonzaga. With just over a second left in the game, Gonzaga down by 1 point. They've got 2 free throws, and they tied up with the first. These are rival high school basketball teams. They faced each other at last year's 4A championships, and Gonzaga will pull ahead if he makes this shot.
We had no timeouts left, and I was thinking, well, we gotta at least shoot it.
The video, shot by 709 Films, is going viral online with hundreds of thousands of views.
Everyone's talking about it. All my friends are talking about it. And all the teachers in school are talking about it. It's crazy.
Number 12 made the shot, but he credits his teammates with the game. One viral buzzer beater isn't getting to his head.
I wasn't expecting that to happen ever. So when it happened, I didn't know what to do. And when I hear it, I just say thanks.
Katie Breen, CBC News, St. John's.
And who could forget the sports story of the year when a goat named Joshua joined a half marathon in Conception Bay South and took first place in our hearts.
So I went to check to make sure it was our goat, and the leash was there, the rope was there, but everything was gone except the goat.
So you found out that he was gone through social media and all the pictures?
Yeah, all the pictures, everything lit up, and all the runners were posting pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So we went along and stopped at the last spot. He was spotted, but they said they tried to hold on to him, but he was determined to keep running. So we went a little further along, and then actually one of the crossings, they said he just passed by here, and we came to a crossing down by Villanova Plaza. They had him stopped there, the RNC, and they were keeping hold of him. So we got him back to them.
So what do you think happened? Was he just so excited when he saw all the people running that he just wanted to go run with everyone?
I think he's been our family pet for 10 years, and he knows it's pumpkin time. He sees all the pumpkins, and he's used to large groups of people, and he really gets involved. And when he's seen the crowd running, he decided to join in.
We've got more good news stories to share and more bright houses to visit. Stay tuned for more of Here and Now's Bright Lights Holiday Special. We're back, and the next house we're going to visit has decorations that will take you back in time.
We love Christmas. I built the decorations myself. My name is Leo Boland from Luggy Bay. I have been decking this house. We're here 21 years and I'm 20 years doing it. But I love putting them up. I love, we get a lot of comments from the neighbourhood. The children here stop and watch and look at our house all the time, and they're even after sending us letters.
Is that the reason
So,
you do this?
I do it for the, yes. And I actually was at a party a little while ago, and there was two ladies that said to me, "Oh, you're Mr. Christmas." That's what they call me, Mr. Christmas, or Merry Christmas, right? We stop by your house all the time going to work just to see it, right? So it's special to us.
You could just feel the warmth of these classic decorations, and you could feel the warmth of summer in our next batch of Bright Stories.
Well, they're very big. They can be as big as a school bus, and they're usually around a grayish, blackish, bluish color. They're not usually like bright colors.
The whales came to feast on Capelin, but for a few days in July, hundreds of folks came to St. Vincent's for the whales.
In awe. That's all I can say, is in awe.
It looks very cool when they come up in the water. It looks like it just looks like it doesn't blend into all the other colors, so sometimes you can see it very well.
Maybe the whales see this all the time, but for the rest of us, it was a rare and wonderful sight. Researchers at the Marine Institute discovered this soft coral garden while sailing past the Funk Island Deep.
Honestly, I've never seen such densities of soft corals in the North Atlantic, and I've been working with seabed imagery for a number of years now. And in fact, I've been part of a team that describes soft coral gardens in Greenland too. But the densities there are half the density of what we saw in Funk Island. It's a very unique spot, and we're very humbled to have been able to put the camera down and see this for the first time.
This is where it's helpful having a group.
This summer, a group of St. John's parents decided to trade walks with strollers for hikes with baby backpacks.
When he was about 2 months old, I formed a Facebook group called East Coast Trail Trouts, Hiking with Babies. It is intended for parents currently on leave to go for daytime hikes while carrying their babies. 200 people are in the group and maybe 30-35 have been active participants. I moved here from the prairies a few years ago, so when my husband went back to work, I was like, what the heck am I gonna do? And it's hard to tie your shoe when you have a child on your front or on your back, or if you fall down, it's a lot easier for somebody to help you up than when you're by yourself. And it also creates a really nice community of like-minded parents who want to be outside and active and, you know, appreciate this incredible place where we can take time off.
There's something that's really special about going with a group of other parents. You know, one of the huge things about having a newborn and, you know, getting used to being a parent is community connection and just like getting to know other people and sharing your story with other people.
Yeah, right? But like, how do you...
What I've learned in motherhood and also as a postpartum doula is that nobody is doing something for the first time. Like, someone else has always experienced or felt what you have. So having another person to kind of bounce that off of, it just means the world.
Yeah, Molly likes to do the surprise attack. Definitely beneficial for my mental health, and I would say many of the other parents that join these hikes. Postpartum, the 4th trimester can be a real mess, and having a community and like a supportive community can be really helpful.
Well, just off the beach here in Witless Bay is a natural wonder, a small island just out there, home to over 500,000 Atlantic puffins, and one of them, a baby puffin, a puffling, has landed itself a long way from home, safe in a Montreal sanctuary. Here's Uno, exploring her new home in the biodome for the first time. But how did she get here?
So this little guy was injured, but
But as soon as I saw him, I thought, oh boy. We didn't know if he was going to survive the night, really. His head was so swollen. His eye was shut. There was a lot of head trauma.
Often the puffins can be diverted, especially the young ones can be drawn to the lights in the communities along the coastline, and that can get them into trouble. Uno is blind in one eye. The injured puffin was brought to Karen Goss. Her Rock Wildlife Rescue Group is no stranger to saving birds.
She was with us over a month, for sure over a month. There was two ways this could have gone. We either helped her recover, her recover, and she was released again if she were sighted in that eye, or she was euthanized. And then the third option came in with the biodome. It was a bit nerve-wracking shipping her. When she was received in Montreal, we got the call that she was great, and then they'd go into her isolation unit up there, and veterinarians would make sure that she was health checked before she was released with the general population.
We're gonna take care of him, like, no matter what. We had to arrange a private transport for him by plane, and we had to get him at the airport. So a lot of people involved. Here at the biodome, there's a big group of technicians taking care of him every day.
She will live out a life that is amazing. Her freedom won't be lacking. She will be with other puffins. It's a perfect scenario, really.
And Uno is just one little puffling, and so much time, effort, energy, expense, and compassion have gone into giving this stray little seabird a second chance at life. Some might ask, why go through all the trouble?
So she'll live with other puffins in a breeding program. They'll have their burrows, they have an ocean, they have a sky for all intents and purposes. Her genetic material will be shared with other facilities across the world who are doing the same thing with different breeding programs.
We now know that it's a female. So she's going to be joining the colony, and in about 5 years or so, when she gets sexually mature, hopefully she's going to find a mate, reproduce, and it's going to bring new genetic within the biodome's population and within the captive population. That's really important for the survival of the species. We've got to make sure that this new blood is pretty important to the genetic diversity.
We are looking for the opportunities to help our people to grow here in Canada.
The Ukrainian community in St. John's was on the lookout for a business opportunity.
Are you guys open?
And boom, we noticed that we can apply to operate this canteen in Bannerman Park, and we realized that a perfect opportunity.
Can I get 2 of those? Yes.
Yeah, it's my first job, and I really like it. I'm enjoying here working, and like to tell these people when they buy something.
It's really hot here these last few days. What do all the kids want at Bannerman Park?
I think that's ice cream and candy. Yeah.
I like your car. We're in the process of applying to get a license for the reselling and preparing food. We really would like to have pierogies here in the park with some onion and bacon and sour cream. Everyone in our community, we are so thankful to Canadians and local people of Newfoundland, and to get this opportunity in the heart of St. John's is something amazing. But that's a really great chance for both communities to get together, to communicate, for Canadians to learn about Ukrainians, who we are. See you soon, come and visit, have some treat.
We've got one more house on our list and more bright stories to see. Stay tuned. The last house on our list is here in St. John's, a short sleigh ride away from the Here and Now studio.
Hi, my name is Katie. This is Liam, and this is Caleb.
Hi, I'm Jason, and this little one here is Charlotte. We're from here originally. We moved to Edmonton there last year for a year. Recently came back in April, and this is the first time we've been here to decorate the house, but I've always been a big fan of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and the Griswolds have been an inspiration, so we kind of tried to chip away at it here, little by little, so this is our contribution.
What do you think about the lights on your house?
Good.
They're good. What else? What do you like about them?
Because they're sparkly.
Our next batch of good news stories features folks who had their brightest moment of the year on TV. This fall, a brand new film school premiered in St. John's, a place for a new generation of film and TV talent to learn the craft, made possible by a film and TV pioneer, the late, great Paul Pope.
Action.
There's a lot of emotions. It's been a week of thinking about all the people who have worked so hard to bring this together. And yeah, thinking about Paul, he was such a leader, and he was so quick on his feet. And this was the kind of pie in the sky thing that he would think of.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric Elliott. I am a Year 2 film creation student at the Paul L. Pope Center of TV and Film. I'm here to show you around the place today and show you some cool stuff. So here are my friends here. This is James, Luke, and Bart. We are filming a little news reporter segment here with James, just talking about the school. James is our actor and talent today.
There's a bit of a chicken and egg in the industry. If you want to attract the business, you have to have the people who can work in it. So we have had a long tradition, like many industries. We get people, we would mentor them, we would train them up, but they'd have to go back to Toronto, they'd have to go to Halifax to work in the industry.
Well, it's my privilege to formally today open this school. It's my distinct honor, humbled to be able to today announce that it will be called the Paul L. Pope Center for TV and Film. Absolutely amazing.
Hey everyone, so now we're at our theater in the school. So as you can see, we have lots of seats to watch our films. We also do some classes here sometimes. Playing right now is one of our year-end films, Seen by No One, which was directed by our lovely friend, Michaela.
The industry is really blossoming right now. I mean, it's on fire right now with 3 major productions. So it's really important that we started from the ground up to start training these people. And really looking forward to seeing the students that are coming out, and really looking forward to the expansion of the school. This is getting word all over the country already, and I don't think the school will disappoint.
Do you want to know what you're racing for?
2 best buds from Mount Pearl became TV stars this year, finishing second on The Amazing Race Canada.
As we got to the starting line and we looked around at all the other teams, we were definitely a little apprehensive because the competitors this season were top-notch, like top-tier competitors, right? But, we knew that if we just put one foot in front of the other and just took it one clue at a time, that Matt and I would be able to get to the end of the race.
Now that it's over, the full season has aired, and you mentioned you got the trip of a lifetime out of it. You went across the country. What's it like to look back on that journey?
You know what? I'm very grateful that it's all videotaped. You know what I mean? That we get to watch it back and see what gets put together, and to be able to relive those memories, right? I mean, there's so much compacted into 1 month of racing that you're racing so much and the adrenaline's going that you don't really pay attention to all of it and get to see it all, right? So, yeah.
I think one of the best things about the whole experience, though, was we went a full month without having a cell phone. So it forced Matt and I to be present in the moment, right? So that was one thing that we'll never do again, going a month without a cell phone, I'm sure. But that was awesome.
Yeah.
Were you allowed to contact your families, or were you completely cut off?
Yeah, we were completely cut off.
Wow.
Yeah, for an entire month.
Wow. How did you put the phone down for a month? I don't even know if I could do that.
It's easier than you think, honestly.
Really?
And then when they tell you to start racing, you're so focused on that you're kind of happy that there's no cell phone there, and you're just focused in the moment and at the clue at hand, really.
I feel like it's truly the Hollywood LA dream, the experience that I had actually.
St. John's makeup artist Krista Han also had her TV dreams come true this year. She got to walk the red carpet at the Emmy Awards and won for her work on the FX series Shogun.
Yeah, it feels like a blur. Can we just talk about this for a second? It felt like a blur because it was so fast paced. When they called our category, we were bracing because we had that momentum. So we were hopeful, and then boom, we got it. And we were all hugging each other and then went up. We didn't even know where to walk. And I was like, please don't trip, please don't trip. The nerves. Usually they give you the one statue and you pose with it and stuff. There was a whole friggin' table of Emmys. It was like a pond of Emmys, and you had to sign your name and they gave it to you, and it was just and they send you that little plaque to stick on in mail. It's in Newfoundland right now. She's back on the family mantle right there in paradise.
One of the sweetest moments of the year was also captured on camera, but it was never intended for an audience. On Halloween night, these kids came to a house with no one home and an empty bowl on the patio. But before leaving, the kids filled up the bowl with their own treats, and that's no trick. A pet peeve for many folks in this province is having to throw glass jars and bottles in the garbage instead of the recycling bin. But there's a new co-op with a smashing good idea for getting rid of glass. It's called Newfound Sand.
So I've been refusing to throw it out, and I realized we didn't recycle it. So I've been collecting it for 2 years, convincing myself I would do a craft or a project with it, because I just did not have the heart to know that it was just going in the trash. So when I saw their thing on Facebook, I was really jazzed.
For now, Newfound Sand is setting itself up as a cooperative. You can join for a small fee or wait for their next public collection.
Before that, it always went in the garbage, right? It went to the bin at the end of the driveway, and away it went to the landfill.
Yeah, we didn't like that at all.
Oh, you're caught. Oh my God. I know blue is not gonna be nice, hey? So you know what idea I got in my mind for later on?
For my tiki ware.
Right? I don't want the regular sand because it's going to get muddy. Yeah. I need this product.
The idea that glass is sand, I think it just really resonates. Once people see it and they understand it, they're like, man, why haven't we been doing this forever? Why haven't we? Well, we're about to.
In the big picture of environmental problems, glass may be a grain of sand. But in a small province, there's no sense in throwing away money. That's why Newfound Sand sees this glass as half full. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
There's only a few presents left under this tree. We'll be back with more of Here Now's Bright Lights Holiday Special. We're back. We've got one more batch of bright stories to share. These are pieces that gave us all the feels. We hope you feel the same way.
I started thinking about this day years ago. As a child, I loved back-to-school shopping. A new pencil case, new sneakers. There's nothing better. But today, it's shopping for the pinkest, sparkliest book bag you can find. For my very bright, extroverted 5-year-old little girl. She's starting kindergarten, starting her school career, the biggest milestone in her life so far. Or is it? At first, it was the day I became a parent and brought this sweet little baby into the world. But then, there were her first words, those first steps, the big belly laughs. Now it feels like this is it, the school supply lists, bus schedules, and trying to figure out how to get her name off the wait list for after-school care. To put my back-to-school worries to rest, I reached out to an expert in this field, Vanessa, who talks all about co-regulation.
So when you hear about parents like me and yourself too, I mean, what do you have to say to a mom and going through this massive milestone that I'm approaching?
Yeah, I would recommend basically trying to keep your own
fears at bay and talking through any fears or any questions your child may have. Like, give them the opportunity, because the important thing is giving children agency from birth onward, from the time they're able to communicate, and they are communicating with us from the time they're born. It's giving them kind of a say in what's going on in their lives and asking them, you know, what would work for them.
Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, let's go get your book bag.
Okay, so as we practice school drop-off, I am making her a part of all the decisions about her first day of kindergarten. And I know I'm not the only parent wiping away a tear or two, or up late the night before worried about the bus or the uneaten lunches.
Mommy?
Okay, Mommy helped with the twisty part there.
Thanks, Mom.
All right.
But it's all going to work out just fine. She is going to thrive. And I'll learn to let go, just a little. For CBC, I'm Colleen Connors.
What kind of looks do you get when you pull up to a place in this vehicle?
Oh my God, you get everything from, what is that? Where did that come from? Love your Jeep, and it keeps us involved with the public as well. So that's really a great thing.
The Canadian Peacekeepers Veterans Association needed a new way for their work in the community to get noticed. This summer, they found it.
Oh. Wow, this is the real deal, hey?
This is it. This is it.
Introduce us. What do we have here?
This is she's registered as a 1970 Willys Jeep. We found that one was available in Prince Edward Island. We had it ready so it passed inspection. We wanted it roadworthy. We have seat belts in it. It didn't come with seat belts. So we're hoping that part of that intrigue is going to get some of our brothers and sisters back with the peacekeepers and get on some missions within the community.
Well, I want to hear more about the mission of this Jeep, but let's get on the road. Let's go for a ride.
Let's go. As you can see, she's built for very, very rough terrain. There's no power steering, there's no power brakes. It's just arm power.
Hopefully there are no Navy ships in the harbor today. They might think they're being attacked.
There you go. They might be after us.
So tell me about the mission of this Jeep.
So the mission of the Jeep is to try to attract veterans and some of our younger veterans to get involved with us and to get involved with the community. Some people have problems because of the injuries that they suffered during their time in the service, and we want to try to help them to get over that, to get back in, to have another purpose in life, that they might want to get back into their community and do a few things like food drives and stuff like that. We went to the car show in Bay Roberts. That was our first car show, and while we were over there, we collected food and funding for the food bank. We raised over $1,000 plus the food that people dropped off to us.
Christmas came early in Harbour Grace with the successful launch of the Pedant Legacy, the largest fishing boat ever built in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Relief all around as this impressive vessel floated free, a reason to cheer following 2 years of setbacks and struggle, including the heartbreaking loss a year ago of the man who started it all, Portagrave fisherman Dwight Pedant. But a loyal son who picked up the torch and is finishing the job in his father's honor.
I think he'd be overjoyed. He would be extremely proud.
All I can think of is how Dad would have felt here today and how proud he would have been, not only of the boat, but of his son.
27 meters long, nearly 10 meters wide, weighing a stout 400 tons, the maximum size the rules will allow, and the price tag, north of $10 million, about 30% over the original budget. The Pedants overcame one hurdle after another to make this happen. A pandemic, a disastrous collapse in the catch price for crab last year, financial turmoil at the shipyard, where a court order is keeping creditors at bay.
From what we were told to how things were going to go, took quite a turn in these last few months.
Then there was the 6 pressure-filled days of this, trying to coach the Legacy into the water. A challenging launch effort that required an army of determined people, powerful machines, a unique bed of sturdy airbags, and the expertise of an American heavy lift company. The Legacy proved to be a stubborn participant, and heavy winds also meddled in the process.
Nothing goes as planned, but we persevered and pushed through.
The Legacy is a nod to the late Dwight Pedant and his father, Willie, both trailblazers in the fishing industry.
I know that the sun is shining for a reason today, and I can only hope that he has a front row seat from heaven.
Terry Roberts, CBC News, Harbour Grace.
We hope you've enjoyed this look back at the stories that have brightened up our year. Thanks to the folks who shared their beautiful homes with us, and thanks to you for tagging along. On behalf of the Here Now team, have a bright holiday season.